Welcome to In My Beauty Bag, the beauty of business with balance. I'm your host, Yamina Childress, entrepreneur, mom, and passionate advocate for wellness in every aspect of your life. Over the past 20 years, I've built businesses, balanced the beautiful chaos of motherhood, and learned the importance of prioritizing mindfulness and self care along the way. So, before we dive into today's episode, let's take a moment to center ourselves. Wherever you are, take a deep breath in through your nose and gently exhale through your mouth. Let's do that one more time. Inhale peace and clarity through your nose and exhale any stress or tension you might be holding on to. This is a great practice to do throughout your day whenever you're feeling a little tense or stressed. So now that we're grounded, let's jump into this journey of building a thriving business while taking care of the most important part of it all, and that is you. So today we're going to talk about the power of boundaries and building a balanced business. In the last episode, we talked about how shifting from the hustle culture to balance is really the new flex, right? So we want to make sure that in this season, we are prioritizing ourselves and not just the hustle of building a business, because we really can't build a business if we are not 100%. So today's topic, we're going to talk about setting boundaries to create a sustainable and thriving business. I remember I mean, I wouldn't say it was that long ago, but between 5 and 10 years ago, I had the true struggle of not saying no. And, sometimes even to this day, I want to say yes to people and things that may not really align with me. But see, the problem of me not having boundaries years ago led me to a lot of burnout because I was overworking myself for the sake of either helping others or taking on new roles, new tasks, um, things that I thought would help me grow. But in the end, it became busy work. And so that busy work led to me being overwhelmed, because when you don't see results of the busyness, the hustle, you tend to say, you know what, this isn't working, and want to move on. But the truth of the matter is, it's a lot of times it's really learning to set boundaries for yourself so that you can actually focus on the part of the business that makes you the money that you want, build you the clients that you want to work with, and not just any clients, right? And really helps you build the lifestyle that you want. Boundaries protect not only you, it protects your energy, it protects your time, and most importantly, it protects your mental health. Boundaries allow us to focus on what truly matters in business and life. And so I want you to start this by taking away that boundaries are good for you, right? Boundaries are not set to harm you or to stop you from gaining the things and the life that you want. It really is a part of the strategy to help you continue to grow both personally and professionally. So what I've learned and working with a lot of my different clients and even myself is some of the common boundary challenges many entrepreneurs face are either overworking due to guilt or FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. We feel like we should be working because, again, like we talked about in the last episode, we have been taught that entrepreneurs should do that 24/7 hustle. You can, sleep when when you're dead. But the truth of the matter is, we need to take care of ourselves. And so sometimes we don't set boundaries because we feel guilty. We feel like, how can we be a true entrepreneur on the grind if we are not consistently overworking? And so you start to feel guilty, or you fear missing out. A lot of people, and I experienced this years into my journey as well, is that we want to take on those roles. We want to bring in new clients. We want to be at all the events and in all the places because you fear you're going to miss out on something if you're not. And that's another common thing that people tell you, like, you have to be at all of the places. You have to be networking, which networking and being in places can be good for your business, but let's make sure that they align with what you're doing, and also that they're going to bring value to your business, right? We don't really need to be in places with just people if those people aren't our ideal partners, customers, or resources, right? Um, Another thing is saying yes to too many opportunities or clients. So sometimes those opportunities and those clients do truly align with your business, your vision. They can make you more money, but maybe you're not in the position to take on new clients. Maybe you don't have your next new hire to help you kind of delegate some of those tasks that you have. And so you're taking on new clients, but you really don't have the time. You really don't have the capacity. And so it's okay to say no to new opportunities and new clients until you're at the point where you can actually take care of them and yourself, right? So, that's another one of the things that entrepreneurs face when they're trying to think about the boundary and the challenges around that. And then struggling to separate their personal and professional time when working from home. And so a lot of entrepreneurs work from home at some point. So even if their full time role is not from home, maybe you have an office, maybe you have a store, you have all of the things. One thing that entrepreneurs tend to do is to bring that work home even when they don't normally work from home. And so in that time, they struggle to separate their personal lives. Maybe you have a spouse or partner, maybe you have children, maybe it's just you, but you still need time for yourself. You have to learn how to separate your personal life from your working life if you are at home. I have a retail store, but I don't normally work in the store. I normally work from my home office. And so what I try to do is give myself a set time. And I'm not going to say try. I do give myself a set time to start work and to end work so that I can have time for myself and for my family. I'm also a homeschool mom. So even during the times that I'm working, I'm making sure that my kids are doing, their schooling. And so it's very important for me to find balance. But it's also very important for all of us to find balance. Again, even if it's just you need to find time to care for yourself. Maybe just a time to unwind or do something you enjoy. And so you're still going to have to learn how to balance the work and your personal life when you are at home. So, some of the strategies for setting and maintaining those boundaries are: one, to define your priorities. I want you to get you a notebook and write this down because these are strategies that you can take from now and carry on as you are really learning and embracing the balance for yourself and your business. So, one, identify what's most important to you in business and life. We are not a monolith. Everything that we do is not like the other person. Many of us start businesses for many different reasons. So I started my first business for a legacy. I wanted to create something for my family. The next business I started to, really to answer a pain point, and that business to bring me a sense of wealth. But many of us started because we have a pain point that we're trying to solve for ourselves. We have a pain point that we want to solve for others. Our exit strategy may be to give it to our children or our family, or our exit strategy may be to sell it for $1 billion, right? And become a unicorn. And so we all start businesses for different reasons, and we all exit them for different reasons. And if you haven't thought about your exit strategy, this is a very good place to start thinking about the importance of your business to you and how that fits into your life. Because we shouldn't just be starting businesses just to start businesses without thinking about, does it fit into my lifestyle? How would this change my life? How would it change the lives for people around me? So really start to define what's important in your business and what's important in your life. And then use those priorities to guide your decisions and your commitments. So if you find that freedom, flexibility, is important for your business because that allows you to travel and spend time with family or have fun in your personal life, don't take on responsibilities, clients, or commitments that don't allow you to do that. Because then you know that you are not working in alignment with your priorities, with your true goals. And that's why it's a really great idea to write those down and really to determine what in your business and your personal life aligns. So when you are setting these priorities, they really are guiding your decisions and your commitments to yourself, to your business, and to any stakeholders and people around you. My favorite one, but which was also the hardest one for me, is to learn to say no gracefully. So many of us struggle with saying no to people. I know I do, and you may or may not. But sometimes it's hard to say no to people, especially if you know you have something that can be of value to others. Or you may feel like I can fit this in, even if it's going to take away your personal time. You just be like, but I do have another 2 hours in my day. But we have to learn to say no. So some tips for declining requests that don't align with your goals. Um, some phrases: you can politely turn down opportunities without burning bridges by telling, someone maybe you don't have the time at this moment and to check back at a later time. I like to tell people at some point I am over capacity with my work commitments. Sometimes you can just say no. No is a complete sentence, and many of us have to learn that. It is okay to say no, especially if it means that you are prioritizing yourself in the process. Just say no. And again, if just saying no is not the easiest for you, giving someone a very brief explanation. You do not have to sell them on your no. You can tell them no. And again, tell them something simple as, I don't have the capacity right now. It doesn't align with my business goals right now. This doesn't align with my personal commitments right now. If you want to give them a brief explanation, but you don't have to. Remember that no is a complete sentence. I want you to, this is the third one, if you've been writing it down, to establish work life separation. You should not be your business. Your business should not be you. You need to create clear start and end times for your workday. Again, set a time. If you want to work 8 hours a day, decide when you're going to work. For me, I am not a super early morning person, so I like to start my day at 10 a.m. I work from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and that is my 8 hour shift. If you are an early morning person, start your day a little earlier, end your day a little earlier. Give yourself time for breaks, to stretch. Think of yourself if you were an employee at another job, you would take breaks, you would, have lunch. So don't work through your lunchtime, don't work through your break times. Of course, as a business owner, you have the flexibility to determine when your lunch and your break is, but make sure that you are doing that. Give yourself the grace and the time to step away from work and truly set those boundaries for your work and your life. And then designate a space for work and a different space for relaxation to avoid blending the two. I remember years ago, I had my desk in my room. So if you are guilty of that, you may know. And because I had my desk in my bedroom, I would be ready for bed, think about something that I needed to do for work, and then say, you know what, I'm just going to run back to the computer for just a few minutes. And those few minutes may have turned into hours. Or I was just always thinking about the business, thinking about what I had to do. What do I have to do tomorrow? Because I did not set a space for me to relax. When I realized that, I put my desk downstairs and I created a specific office space for me to work. And you don't need an entire room. Just give yourself a place, maybe in your living room, your dining room, where this is your workspace, not your bedroom. You want your bedroom or whatever room in your home that you enjoy, that you want to relax at, keep that separate from your workspace, right? So this helps us know that this place is for work, this place is for relaxation. So mentally, when I go to that space, I'm going to this space for work, almost like leaving and going to a job. And if I'm in this space is about me, this space is about relaxing, and I am not thinking about work. It seems kind of simple and maybe that it won't work, but it actually does work. It is really a mental thing that your mind is telling you, I am no longer at work, I am in my relaxing space, and vice versa. So make sure you set boundaries between the two and truly designate a space for work and a space to relax. And then four, communicate your boundaries clearly. So we can't just have boundaries that we keep to ourselves, especially if we have clients or team members or even family members. We want to make sure they also understand our boundaries. Again, I don't take meetings before my workday. So even if someone says, let's have a meeting at 7 a.m., I'm going to decline because I don't start my workday until 10. And so the meeting normally is going to be after 10:30, 11 to really give myself time to settle into the day. And I have to communicate that with clients or partners that my schedule opens up after 10. Or again, I told you I'm a homeschool mom. And so sometimes I have meetings and I have to tell my children, this is meeting time. You go do your work here and try to be quiet so that I can take a meeting. These are just setting boundaries between yourself, your business, and the people around you to really set those clear expectations. And then use tools. I love technology. And so use tools like autoresponders, share your calendar with your assistants or For instance, if you take meetings, let them book you on a calendar app. Um, Set your days and times that way, because this really reinforces those boundaries, especially with clients or partners or other people who are you work with in business, so they can really truly understand that this is your boundary and this is what they have to work within. And then before we close, I just want to talk about the rewards of your boundaries. I know a lot of people think that they don't really benefit from setting boundaries because maybe they're losing out on clients, maybe they're losing out on money. But the truth of the matter is, you are being rewarded by honoring your boundaries. You may see increased productivity. And I don't mean busy work like so many entrepreneurs do. They're just at their desk, they're just running around, they're just at events and they're doing busy work. But that busy work is not productive. It does not lead to anything beneficial for themselves or their business. But when you reward your boundaries, you have time and energy to focus on those things that do produce what you want to produce in business. And usually it's money and outcomes. You may gain better relationships. When you have boundaries and people understand them, they respect your boundaries like you respect your boundaries, and it tends to be more fulfilling. And then you reduce your stress. When we don't have boundaries, when we're working 24/7, it is not a matter of if you'll be stressed. It is a matter of when you'll be stressed. It is a matter of how much stress you are putting on your body. So make sure that you're understanding that one of the rewards is just minimizing your stress. A successful entrepreneur embodies boundaries, they embody balance. They show up as whole people. If you've ever listened to, some master classes, or you've heard, some of the most successful entrepreneurs tell you about their days, a lot of them say, I start my day, in a quiet place or meditating. I take a run. I take breaks when I need to. I tell people no. These people have perfected the art of setting boundaries. And because they have set those boundaries and really truly focus on the balance between who they are and the business, which are two separate entities, they tend to be more successful. They're not just busy, they are producing, they are making the money, they are living the free life that they want to live because they have learned to balance the business and themselves. Before we go, let's just recap on why the boundaries matter, the challenges to watch for, and the strategies to implement. Boundaries are essential because they help minimize stress, they help us build great businesses, and they help us be great people. Some of the common challenges are overworking due to guilt or fear, saying yes to too many opportunities or clients, or struggling to separate your personal and professional lives. But some of the things that you can do is define your priorities, learn what's important for your business and your life, and use these priorities to guide your decisions and commitments. Learn to say no gracefully, establish work life separation, and then communicate your boundaries clearly. I encourage you all to evaluate your current boundaries and your commitments. And I want you to use that to make one improvement this week. And I invite you to share those experiences with others. Share them on social media in your communities. And then for the next episode, we'll really dive deeper into how we find balance as business owners. If you don't know, I am the founder of the Balance Founders Collective, where you can get tools, strategies, and tips to grow your business without burnout. So be sure to go over and check it out at integralstart.com, and let's see how we can work together. So until next time, I hope you remain balanced, calm, and stress free as you are building the business of your dreams. Till next time, bye.